I was reading something quite interesting that I hadn't seen before, but it was something that I looked at when I was just kind of just searching around the internet for general notes. I saw an article about your dad claiming that he used or credited, amongst other things, Amanita muscaria as helping recover from his heart attack and stroke. And it just got me thinking, Jack is obviously exceptionally famous for cannabis. I'm just wondering, obviously in the 70s, 60s, if he got turned on to weed in the 1969. Obviously I'm not asking you to dob your dad in or anything. Yeah, I'm just wondering if there was this. Did he have a psychedelic side or a streak in him? Is that something that
Oh,
continued
he
across the
in
family?
the last 20 years of his life, I would say, maybe even since the 80s, um, he did quite a bit of acid and especially mushrooms after his stroke in 2000. It took quite a long time, several years after his stroke, for him to start regaining more understandable speech.
Hmm.
Uh, it was uh, it was a long, slow process. He credits the mushrooms. Um, I I'm not so sure um, that it wasn't just general rehabilitation, but there were some things that were um, greatly improved, like after 2005, 2006, his speech became more controlled and fluent and less frustrating. And that was just a few years after, a fairly massive stroke in 2000, which
Hmm.
unfortunately robbed him of his ability to communicate that he the way that he had the 30 years prior.
Hmm.
And it was uh, it was good to be able to hear him again, um, prior to his passing
Hmm.
in 2010. But he certainly believed that the 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 use and consumption of a significant amount of mushrooms benefited him, uh, if not at the very least emotionally,
Yeah.
um, and helped to deal with the stress and complexity of the personal limitations that he had those last, you know, 9 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, thank you for.
I don't have a magical answer for that.
No, that's you've answered my question. That was the insight sort of I was sort of hoping for in a way. It's yeah, it's something I can empathize. I talk a lot, as you probably noticed, even just spending a couple of hours with me here, Dan. Um, and I can't imagine, especially if I have my little wins here and there, but to have then be held in such esteem as he was before, and to again people go and look at any speeches, just Google and look at some shit and watch the way that he spoke, to then lose that capability you spoke of there, with that frustration. I think, yeah, I mean, again, I'm quite well versed with things like I took a lot of acid for quite a long time. Did a documentary with BBC about acid, um, and yeah, the peace that that would bring to for that loss of communication, it's quite a lonely thing. So I can see in almost then being able to come to terms with that in itself. I think, if nothing else, is probably what allowed his body to almost heal from it, rather than having this constant tension and pressure of like, "Oh, why can't I need, I want, I need, to get that validation, that cessation of that need to feel heard. So I can, yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that. Um,
Yeah, his voice was quite prolific. Um, and if any of you that are watching this have the ability to go on YouTube and look up Jack Herrer and listen to him speak, um, you'll hear the passion, you'll hear the purpose in his voice. You'll hear him growl, you might hear him laugh, but you'll understand the level of passion and dedication and love that he had for this community, for this plant, and the vision of the opportunities that it could bring